I'm too lazy to animate and I don't know what else to do, so I'm gonna put gameplay behind this. I am Shards, that raccoon, and welcome to, I don't know, this random rant. At one point or another, you have been annoyed. I know for sure I have. It can be from someone chewing with their mouth open, to somebody just existing next to you. We all have a different way of being annoyed, like trying to find a job in 2020. Well, 5 now. In reference, I'm a maple syrup chugging, hockey loving, fin puck smacker, out of date military having Canadian.
This is Canada. Maple syrup in my cabin, say, ay, kick your ass all hockey season, ay, now teach me riding horses, say, yeah, this is Canada.
So, imagine this. You just got out of high school, I guess barely knowing you, and you're looking for a job. Something full-time, but you might have to start part-time. And you find this lovely position. It's an opening position, no experience required. You go down into the place and put a resume in. But just to be safe, you look online to see what they're asking for. On their website, it says they're looking for someone with 2 to 5 years experience, preferred. But, in the business world, that means you can start working here after 2 to 5 years, despite us paying minimum wage. And that's not even getting into the assistant programs that they have on for foreign people coming in to work at those jobs. So, me being born here and taught how to work in this kind of environment leads to me not being able to get a job in this environment. That makes total sense. But before I get way too pissed off, I might as well go to another topic. You decide to go on a walk one day and you find a new restaurant down the street. It's not one of your local McDonald's or AMWs or something like that. It's actually a foreign restaurant that's just locally owned, serving dishes from another country. You figure, well, I could try it. So you go in, order something that sounds good that you don't know the proper name of, and wait for your food. As you're waiting, you get this heavenly scent in the air of something that smells absolutely divine. Spices properly used, seasoned perfectly, and after a bit, you're starting to get excited, and then you see a waiter come out with a divine looking dish. Just perfect smells coming from it, and she's walking to your table, only to go to the one right behind you to serve that bloke first. Fuck. When your dish finally comes out, it comes out on a beautiful bed of rice, and these meats that look seasoned to perfection. You go to take your first bite and start to enjoy it with all the flavors that you've never had, only to have a surprise bone stopping your chew. You reach in to take it out and see the bone. You flick it out thinking it's a first time thing. You go to take another bite and there's another bloody bone on there. Now I get some people don't know how to properly get rid of items out of their meats, such as bones, fats, veins, and other material, but when you're trying to have a proper meal, you don't want to be picking things out of your mouth every 3 bites. It's just bloody well unworth it at that point, I find. If you're a person that goes hunting to eat what you hunt, or if you go fishing, you'll understand the pain of finding a bone, or, depending on what you did, brass, in your meal. I am what people call a food enjoyer. I used to be very fat, but now I'm just a bit fat. And now, I still enjoy food, I just want to enjoy it while I have it. I don't want to spend half the meal picking things out of my mouth just because they forgot to take out the bones. That's probably why I'm not a huge fan of chicken wings. I'll eat them, but I won't ask for them. And that's another thing that gets me confused. Why do people eat their food British style, aka no seasonings added? Now, this changes from person to person, but people usually have a holy trinity of spices and seasonings that they have. The ones that they'll go to for nearly every type of meat, vegetable, or piece, such as your salt and peppers, paprika, and your garlic powder. Now, this is my holy trinity of seasonings / spices that I use. Salt, pepper, paprika, garlic powder, your onion powder, pepper flakes, chili powder, paprika, and sea salt. There's a difference in between your salts, always ask. Now, what really drives me crazy is when people don't know how to use seasonings and just throw on like 2 to 3 of them, and none of them taste good together. Like, you taste as you go. You don't just throw 5 seasonings all them together and say, yep, That's good, because different seasonings are good for different foods and different types of ways.
Okay, bring what you need.
It may taste good in a stew, but will it taste good as a dry rub?
Yeah,
Probably not, depending on what the meat is. I get if I try Joe's food, I'm probably not going to like it as much as my food, because we have two different palates, two different ways of enjoying food. He may like sweet, where I like spicy more. That's just one example of, well, thousands really. Before I start feeling like a Somalian child, I might as well go on to another topic. For the few who are Canadian who would understand this, what the fuck happens with our snow, especially when it's spring? We get spring, snow, spring, snow. It's like God takes the fucking switch and keeps flipping it up and down like a fucking child for Canada for a while. And then eventually he gets bored and stops flipping the switch. And slowly lets it go off. It's kind of fun to me in that regard. Because, oh, finally, I don't have to shovel anymore. It turns into, dang it! I have to go to work, but I have to shovel first. I thought we were done. No! But when the snow finally melts, it feels nice to not have to deal with it anymore. You get to enjoy not wearing a jacket, replacing it with a sweater. It's nice. But with the final little bit of snow, one of my recommendations is grab a can of Monster or a bottle of Coke, leave it outside for a minute, or if you have a car, leave it in there for a couple of hours, or let your shift pass and then take it out when you're done. You got a free slushie. Pretty good stuff. But is it worth having to deal with the snow again? I personally think not. Well, as all things go, it's fun dealing with the annoying stuff, but not fun dealing with it when you're in it. It can make for a funny story when you're out of it, but is it worth going through the time being annoyed and frustrated, and possibly even just not having a fun time? Well, just falls on the person, I guess. When it comes to things you like doing and things you hate doing, you try to deal with the things you hate doing first, move on to the things you like doing right after, and sometimes even the things you like end up turning frustrating from your experience earlier. I find that happens from time to time, and especially with people. That's one of the biggest ones for me. Yes, I understand you're asking questions out of genuine curiosity, but once it gets into the 5th, 6th, and even 7th question, that's when I start getting fucking annoyed. These are just some of the things I find annoying, and I might make a part 2 depending on how things go. I don't know. Depends on how I feel, I guess. Well, for whoever watches this, if you find things annoying, feel free to talk about it in the comments. Just a vent. Well, have a good one.